Welcome to Game Chat One, episode 150. Thank you for joining the show. I hope you all are having a good day. If not, better. This is a show where we talk about gaming news. In case you're wondering how you stumbled onto this video, we do some of the stories from this past week or past few days. In this case, the past 3 or 4 days worth of gaming news worth noting, talking about, and I go through the articles, talk about the articles, give my opinion on said articles, and ask for your opinion in the comments. We've been doing this for many, many years. We reached episode 150, which is kind of cool. Game Chat Bwana kind of stemmed from me doing my other podcast, which was called Bwana.org Radio, which was like all things gaming and tech. And we kind of spawned Game Chat with Bwana, and then we did Tech Talk with Bwana, and then we did a whole bunch of different spin-off podcasts. But Game Chat with Bwana was kind of interesting because we were just sitting one day and I think the first episode was 2 hours long, which was wild at the time. And we just sat around and we talked about gaming news. That's what we're going to do today. Enjoy the show. Palworld. You remember that game? Me too. Palworld. New update just came out. Big update. For the first time in a while. They've been kind of quiet on the update front, which introduces the first boss raid named Bella Noire. A bunch of items and fixes. This article is over on Rock Paper Shotgun. They got the details over there. Pocket Pair has released a new Palworld update, Steam version 0.20.6, which introduces the monster catching survival game's first raid boss, a gloating, gothy squid lady by the name of Bella Noire. Bella Noire can't be captured, but she does drop a PAL egg on defeat. So I imagine if you hash the egg, you're going to get yourself a little baby Bella Noire. Maybe some other thing. I don't know. This is a chunky update with a bunch of new items and tweaks to the building system, PAL falling damage, shop prices, player drops on multiplayer servers, and the user interface. But here's an example of some quality of life changes. You'll now see how many of a PAL you own when you aim the PAL sphere at one. So, yeah, if you got like 500 chickens, probably would think twice about catching it. The developers have teased that another larger update is coming in this summer, which is going to include a new island, with new pals. I think that's going to be the one where everybody, including myself, is going to come back to the game. This one's tempting to come back to the game and try to catch this raid boss because apparently she's very difficult, especially if you put her on the extreme difficulty conditions. But yeah, this summer is going to be the one with a new island with new pals and all kinds of stuff. So it's probably going to include even more quality of life changes. So check this story out over on Rock Paper Shotgun. They got the details about the new Palworld update, which is going to be adding the first raid boss, Bella Noire, and some quality of life changes. But the big thing is that the summer update has been teased, and it's going to have a new island and new pals to catch. Check it out. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yeah, that's a good series, right? But it has a tumultuous past with Frontier and Atari. But the good news is that has been resolved. Atari are now the publishers for the whole Roller Coaster Tycoon series after buying the missing 2004 sequel for $7 million. This article comes by way of Rock Paper Shotgun. They got the details over there. I got a lot of Rock Paper Shotgun stuff recently. Atari already had the rights of most of the long-running Sim series, including its mainline numbered entries and various spin-offs, with the one exception, 2004's Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Frontier, which previously sued Atari in 2017 over unpaid royalties claimed in the sequel, sold it to Atari for $7 million. This is a very interesting story because a lot of stuff has been on hold of this game because of the creator and Atari, Chris Sawyer. Atari and Frontier has been like a lot of beef and stuff going on between the two, and then the settlement that happened outside of court. But the good news is that Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is going to be considered canon with the theme park simulator franchise. I don't know what lore there is, but I think that's funny. But they're just basically going to bring it into the fold, and it's going to be part of the offering. Now, this is the good news for those of you who are really into the series. Not only do they have the license for 3, but they're going to make more of them. The deal completes Atari's collection of the complete franchise and makes them the sole publisher of all Roller Coaster Tycoon games in the future across PC and other platforms. Atari has also squashed its past beef with Sawyer, who licenses the series to Atari, giving them permission to develop new games and other additions to the 25-year-old and counting franchise. Under the agreement, Atari will seek to develop new titles, expand digital and physical distribution, and explore brand and merchandising collaborations as part of the long-term plan to bring the franchise to new heights. This is good news. You're going to get some new Roller Coaster Tycoons. They're going to probably do some remakes, some re-envisioning, some rehashes, some mobile variants. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. You're going to gotcha Roller Coaster Tycoon. You're going to have to open loot boxes to get the roller coaster you want. Check it out. Over on Rock, Paper, Shotgun, they got the details. Atari now publishes all of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and the good news is that they're going to be able to make more due to squashing the beef with Sawyer and Frontier. Fun times over at Last Epoch. Last Epoch developers would appreciate it if you stop committing forgery, please. This article comes by way of Rock, Paper, Shotgun. They got the details over there. Apparently, gamers are cheating. I know, in current year. In response to gold generation and item exploits in action RPG game Last Epoch, developer 11th Hour has released a statement to combat RMT and other things like that. It says, in response to the gold exploit, another thing, we have reviewed gold activity on an account level, identifying banning those accounts which have been participating in illegitimate gold generation. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Gamers are cheating in current year. We also have banned accounts with duplicate items from the first exploit, and we have been and are continuing to process and ban all accounts linked to RMT services like both buying and selling. So there's been multiple exploits. I haven't been keeping up. I bought this game. I played it for a couple of hours, but I haven't been playing it that much. But apparently there's been multiple exploits and people are getting banned for it. Now this is the funny part. This is one of those games that allows you to mirror items. I know Path of Exile has a mirror item that's very rare, which allows you to make a copy of an item. But they have a dungeon and a rune of creation, which allows you to create up to like 12 different copies or 12 different duplicates, which can really confuse people. The statement goes on to mention that both the Lightless Arbor, a dungeon, and the rune of creation, the item that duplicates others with some drawbacks, generating legitimate duplicate items has also been contributing to the perception of item dupes. Some of this comes from awareness regarding that these legitimate duplicates are possible, as well as to what extent. It may be surprising to know that Lightless Arbor's vaults of uncertain fates can actually produce up to 12 duplicates of the exact same item. These legitimate duplications can produce some very suspicious looking listings on the bazaar. Now, the key thing to remember here is that you get duplicates, but they have drawbacks. Apparently, some forging limitations that you have with these duplicates. So what 11th Hour is going to do is they're going to update the graphics. The statement says 11th Hour goes on to say they'll be introducing some mirrored item card graphics to assuage any doubt over whether an item is a legitimate duplication, so you'll know exactly when you've been faked out by a real fake or a fake. That's very important. Check. This is crazy, man. This is fun. Y'all having some fun over there at Last Epoch. Check the story out over on Rock, Paper, Shotgun to get the details. The developers are swinging the band hammer. This is good. And they're trying to alleviate some of the issues with some fakes and real fakes. And you want to know if you got a real fake or a fake. So they're going to be updating the graphics on that. And just don't, when you see an exploit, don't abuse it. That's just the golden rule. And people are like, oh, why would you do that? This is in-game mechanics. These are things that are in-game. Why am I being banned for in-game mechanics? Don't blame me for your bugs. You know, people they'll try to gaslight developers to make them think that they're in the wrong for banning them for abusing the exploit, when at the end of the day, you were wrong for doing it. And you know you were wrong. And you were snickering and giggling the whole time you're doing it. Just don't abuse exploits, chat. Check it out. They got details over there. Dwarf Fortress. You guys remember this game? It was like, I heard about it. It was like the basis and the inspiration behind Minecraft, because I had never played it until recently when they had a re-release on Steam this past year ago. They've hit 800,000 copies sold, which is kind of amazing. This game is like really, really old, and the fact that its resurgence has been so big is nothing short of a miracle. Tarn and Zach Adams told PC Gamer that Dwarf Fortress has surpassed 800,000 copies sold in just over a year since its paid release on Steam in December 2022. In January 2023 alone, it earned over $7 million in revenue, turned them into millionaires. And they did have staff, and they had to pay salaries and stuff, but it was a good chunk of change to put in their pocket. For comparison, the Adam brothers earned just over $1 million over the 15-year period, from 2007 to 2022 when Dwarf Fortress was free and survived solely on donations from the community. Now, this is the part that gets me. With nearly 1 million copies sold, the Adam brothers told PC Gamer that the success just makes them feel comfortable and stable. For example, Zach was finally able to buy a house and the Honda Civic because I've always wanted one. That makes me want to buy the game again. The fact that this man bought a Honda Civic, which is probably one of the most desirable, reliable cars I can think of, in my top 1% of cars that I would buy, is kind of amazing. He's like, I got a Honda Civic. I'm like, there you go. Like, he didn't get like some super expensive Tesla or some ridiculous sports car or some, I don't know, moon rock powered car. He got a Honda Civic. I love it, man. Now, I was just talking to my chat just 5 seconds ago about, man, I'm probably going to go back to Dwarf Fortress at some point, because when I was playing it, I was really intimidated by it. I was learning it for the first time. I'd spent like probably 2 weeks straight playing it on stream, and we had a lot of fun, and I died many times as expected. I was like, oh, I'm probably going to come back to it soon. And then I read this. I'm like, oh, yeah, the update's coming out, the adventure mode update. And I was like, when is that coming out? And then I read the next line. The long-awaited RPG roguelike mode will finally be added to the premium version of Dwarf Fortress on April 17th. So April 17th is going to get this adventure mode. That would be a good time to come back and try the game again and try to actually learn it again. Because I would build these bases and then I would make a mistake. Like, I think the last mistake I made was I just kept digging. I just kept going deeper and deeper. And I didn't know about monsters that dwelled in the deep. So I dug and dug and dug, and then I hit a hole, and then all of a sudden, all these things came through and basically climbed up and killed everything that I had. And I was like, oh, not doing that again unless I build some defenses. I didn't know. I was thinking Minecraft. I was like, I'm just gonna dig, 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 and I was making little bases as I was going down, and just little lessons like that. Dwarf Fortress will throw at you. Hopefully, the roguelike mode will make things like that commonplace, like little situations where you can learn like that. Check it out over on GameWorldObserver.com. They got the details about Dwarf Fortress. These devs are now living comfortably and buying Honda Civics, and they're just splurging. But I'm glad to see that the game has sold over 800,000 copies and approaching 1 million really fast, and about to hit 1 million wish lists on Steam. Really, really awesome. So check it out. And that concludes episode 150 of Game Chat with Bwana. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks so much for listening. Please comment, like, subscribe if you enjoyed or you have some feedback in the video. I'm pretty sure y'all got some opinions about what I talked about today. I think it was a good show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Just remember that I do release all of these stories as individual videos as well. So if you want to catch it in shorter bites, subscribe to my playlist over on YouTube. It's called Bwana News Network. BNN. Yeah, subscribe to that playlist. Just add that playlist to your favorites or whatever, and then you'll get these new story videos in like these 4 to 5 to 6 minute chunks, and you can consume them on a smaller level. Or if you want the longer form, which is what we're doing here, if you want the longer form, you can just wait for Game Chat with Bwana, which we have a playlist or /podcast for Game Chat with Bwana on YouTube as well. I've been doing YouTube as my main thing. I haven't migrated back over to Spotify. Because Spotify is weird. I'll just leave it at that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.